Have you ever thought you truly knew someone only to discover they've been a stranger for 9 years? I believed Ethan and I were unbreakable, a love so strong, nothing could tear us apart. But one night shattered everything. Want to know how a simple visit to his office in New York City destroyed everything I thought I knew about love trust, and the man I called my soulmate? Stay with me. Before I reveal the heart-wrenching moment that obliterated my world, I need you to take a deep breath. Some stories are hard to hear, but they matter. If you've ever faced betrayal, if your reality has been flipped upside down in an instant, hit that subscribe button. Let's support each other through these raw, painful truths. I always believed Ethan and I were unshakable. 9 years together had woven our lives so tightly, I couldn't imagine a world without him. We weren't perfect, who is, but we knew each other's quirks, finished each other's sentences, and could share entire thoughts with just a glance. Or so I thought. Now, standing in the chilly Manhattan night air, staring through a window framing him with another woman, my world was unraveling piece by piece. The city's hum faded, leaving only the deafening thud of my heart. It started with something small, as these things often do. Ethan had been distant for months. Little things: his distraction during our dinners, late nights at work, his phone always face down on the table. I told myself it was job stress. His career in finance demanded so much, and I'd seen how hard he worked to keep it all together. But then came canceled plans, late-night meetings, the sudden scent of unfamiliar perfume clinging to him. When I found a receipt in his coat pocket for a dinner at Le Bernardin, a fancy New York restaurant we'd never visited together, the first thread of doubt unraveled. Still, I brushed it off. I wanted to trust him. I needed to trust him. 9 years of shared memories, laughter and love. Who would throw that away? It was a Friday night in Brooklyn. Ethan texted he'd be working late. I'd planned a quiet evening at home, but something in my gut wouldn't let me rest. Call it intuition. Call it paranoia. I felt an overwhelming urge to see him. Maybe I'd surprise him with takeout from his favorite deli, a small gesture to reconnect. I'd done it before, brought coffee during late-night meetings, or curled up on his office couch with a book while he worked. It felt familiar, almost comforting. As I walked down the dim hallway of his Wall Street office building, something felt off. His car was parked outside, and a faint glow spilled from under his office door. My heart felt heavy, but I told myself I was being ridiculous. I was just here to surprise him, nothing more. As I got closer, I heard something muffled, soft laughter, low and intimate. My breath caught in my throat. I slowed, straining to listen. It wasn't laughter. It was a woman's voice. My stomach flipped, my skin prickling with unease. I hesitated outside the door, my hand hovering over the knob. The rational part of me screamed to turn back, to pretend I hadn't heard anything. But something deeper, something desperate needed to see. The door wasn't locked. It creaked as I pushed it open, the sound slicing through the silence like a knife. And then I saw them. I froze in the doorway, my breath trapped in my chest, unable to move or speak as the scene unfolded before me. Ethan shirtless, his tie still dangling loosely around his neck, his dark hair tousled in a way that was far too intimate, too raw. His hands that had once traced my body with such tenderness and reverence, gripped her hips tightly, fingers pressing into the soft curve of her waist as if she belonged to him. Her legs were wrapped around him, her black stilettos gleaming under the dim office light, the sharp points of her heels catching the glow. Her blouse hung off her shoulders, revealing smooth skin and a black lace bra that twisted my stomach into knots. The desk groaned beneath them, their movements rhythmic, obscene in its familiarity. The air was thick with the scent of her perfume, sharp and foreign, invading my senses. Ethan's face. God, his face. His head tilted back slightly, eyes half-closed, lips parted in a way that made him look lost in her, lost in the moment, oblivious to the fact that I was standing there watching. I wanted to believe this wasn't real, that it was some cruel hallucination. But the details were too vivid, too sharp, his fingers digging into her skin, her manicured nails raking his back, leaving faint red trails. Her head fell back, her lips forming his name in a breathless whisper that burned my ears. I couldn't move. My feet felt rooted to the floor, my body paralyzed by shock. My heart pounded, the sound echoing in my ears like a drum. Every part of me screamed to turn away, to run, to stop looking, but I couldn't. I couldn't tear my eyes from the destruction of everything I thought I knew. My blood drained from my face, my skin cold and clammy as my knees threatened to buckle. My chest heaved with panic, my stomach churning so violently I tasted bile in my throat. The takeout bag slipped from my trembling fingers, hitting the carpet with a soft thud, quiet but enough to snap them out of their trance. Ethan's eyes flew open, locking onto mine for a split second. His expression was blank, pure shock, as if his brain couldn't process what he was seeing. Then it shifted, panic, guilt, fear. "Sarah," he stammered, his voice hoarse and cracking. The woman turned, her face a mix of embarrassment and annoyance, as if I was the one intruding on something private, something sacred. She scrambled to cover herself, fumbling with her blouse, but the damage was done. My eyes darted between them, taking in every humiliating detail, sweat glistening on Ethan's chest, her red lipstick smeared on his neck, papers scattered across the desk as if swept aside in a frantic rush. The space that once felt like an extension of our shared life now felt like a battlefield, and I was the only one left unarmed. "Ethan," I choked out, barely recognizing my own voice, hollow and broken. He stepped back from her, hands still raised as if to shield himself from the weight of my gaze. "Sarah, this isn't what it looks like." He stammered the words, spilling out in a pathetic rush. I let out a bitter laugh, sharp and unnatural in the tense silence. "Not what it looks like," I spat. "Ethan, I just walked in on you." My voice broke, and I pressed a hand to my mouth, trying to stifle the nausea threatening to overwhelm me. I could feel my pulse pounding through every inch of my body, my heart racing so fast it felt like it might tear itself apart. Tears blurred my vision, but I refused to let them fall. I wouldn't give him the satisfaction of seeing me cry. How long, I demanded, my voice trembling with rage. How long has this been going on? He didn't answer. He just stood there, mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. The woman beside him looked away, her cheeks flushed as she clutched her blouse to her chest. She couldn't even speak. She wouldn't. The weight of the betrayal sank deeper with every passing second. "She can't even own up to it." I whispered the words, heavy with pain. Ethan took a hesitant step toward me, his hands outstretched as if he thought he could fix this, as if he thought he could touch me and make it all okay. "Sarah, please," he said, his voice desperate. "Let me explain." "Don't," I snapped, stepping back, my hands clenched into fists at my sides. "Don't you dare come near me." The words hung in the air between us, heavy and final. He stopped, his arms dropping limply to his sides, and for the first time I saw him for who he really was. A liar, a coward, a stranger. I turned on my heel and walked out of the office, my footsteps echoing in the hallway. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. The image of them together, his hands on her, the way he looked at her, the way he forgot me, was seared into my mind. No matter how far I ran, I knew I'd never escape it. Was I wrong to believe in our love, to trust someone so completely? I know this story might break your heart, but sometimes sharing the pain is the first step to healing. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever survived a betrayal that changed everything? And if you want to hear more stories of survival, of finding strength in the most broken moments, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Sometimes our greatest strength comes from walking away.